Farage's new Brexit party announced its candidates for the European elections this week. Amongst them is Annunziata Rees Mogg. Her brother, of course, is the Conservative MP you may have heard of, member of the ERG. And she joins me now. Welcome to you indeed. Bit of a motley crew, all your candidates at Brexit, isn't it? All the way from George Galloway to Anne Widdecombe.
I think the wonderful thing this demonstrates is that we are all great believers in democracy, and that the biggest issue facing this country at the moment is that the people are listened to. We had a vote, it's been ignored by the Westminster elite, and we've got to get the voice of the people back.
Why wouldn't it be democratic to have another vote?
Because we haven't enacted the first referendum yet. It's perfectly all right, once something's been enacted and seen how it's worked, to go back to the people and say, do you like how this is working? It's not okay to never do it and then force them to vote again, basically because they want a different result.
Well, even if it looks like a bad idea, it's worth enacting it, even if the official projections are right and that this would damage the economy, damage employment, possibly even put lives at risk.
We've had Project Fear for a long time. We were told that there would be all sorts of problems, huge falls in employment straight after the vote. None of those have happened. I don't think it's fair to take any reliance on those projections now. They haven't changed their tack. They don't want us to leave. I think the upsides are huge for this country. We can trade across the world, we can make free trade deals, we can cut tariffs and have a much more open trade system if that's what we want to do.
But if you were wrong, you still think it's something we've got to do?
Democracy demands we do. I think I'm looking forward to a very optimistic outcome for Brexit. But it has to be put into place because that's what the people asked to happen.
You've stood as a Tory candidate in the past. Why can't you do this within the Conservative Party, which frankly seems to be moving in your direction on Brexit?
I don't think it is under Theresa May, that she has gone to Brussels with a begging bowl. She has gone for a deal completely written by the EU. She hasn't stood up for this country or our interests in the slightest. And now she's trying to kick it into the long grass. That just doesn't happen. I have lost all faith in her. I don't think she's acting honourably, and I think we've got to make sure that our politicians in Westminster listen to the people by voting for the Brexit Party.
So do you think others, including your brother, should perhaps follow you into the Brexit Party from the Tories?
He sees one way of achieving the democratic outcome we both believe in, and I see a different way.
Presumably you discussed this in advance, did you?
Of course I warned him that I was going to be doing this, that I'm very close to my brother, and of course I talked to him. But like all siblings, we have slightly different views on things.
What do you think of Nigel Farage?
I think he has caused a revolution in this country, that we wouldn't have got a referendum in the first place had he not been in charge of UKIP. And it looks like we wouldn't get Brexit unless the Brexit Party does well now, which he seems to be achieving so far. There's a long way to go in the campaign.
And are you ready to spend the next 5 years in Brussels and Strasbourg?
I want to get us out. Yeah. I will do everything I can to get us out as quickly and as cleanly as possible. And of course I will be in Brussels fighting for that corner.
But, I mean, it might not happen.
It might not happen. We still don't 100% know if we're going to have this election on the 23rd of May, which is less than a month away.
And do you respect the institution of the European Parliament?
I think that it is not democratically answerable to the people of this country.
Now, your name, there's this joke going around that David Cameron told you to change it to Nancy Mogg. Is that true?
Yes.
And then, was that a joke or was he serious?
I thought he was serious. Other people said it was a joke. Who can know what his motivations were? I decided I wasn't doing it.
It just come out of the blue. He must have explained why he wanted it.
He announced it at a lunch and to Conservative supporters at a fundraiser. And he then told me it was a very nice name and he'd called his daughter it. And I agree, Nancy is a very nice name, but it's not mine.
Well, I mean, you weren't tempted to appear more of sort of woman of the people, if you like?
I'm not a phony. I am who I am. My name is Annunziata Rees Mogg, and I have to live with it.
If the consequence of this is that Mrs May is destroyed, that the Conservative Party is divided, isn't there a big risk that the main beneficiaries of this are going to be the Labour Party?
I think the most important thing is that the main beneficiary is democracy. And if the British people decide that the only person they can support is Jeremy Corbyn, I'm afraid that's what they decide. It's not something I would support. But We are a democratic nation, and it's up to the voters to vote.
I just find it, why are you standing for the constituency you're standing for? A lot of people thought, I mean, your family, you're from the West Country, that you would go in southwest England with a lot of the other celebrity candidates have gone. Why haven't you gone there?
It's quite a line-up in the southwest. I live in the East Midlands, I live in Lincolnshire, and I want to represent my local communities.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Adam.